Hey guys, welcome. It is Monday night, September 8th, in preparation for Tuesday, September 9th trading day. We are continuing on with Roy Longstreet's viewpoints of a commodity trader. Advice. Some traders die from too little advice. Many think that to seek advice indicates weakness. The contrary is true. To seek advice means that one is well advised. In commodity trading, it is impossible for anyone to know it all. A matter of great importance is to know those who know best. The man who thinks he does is seldom the one. Others die from too much advice. There are those who seek the advice of all, even the barber. How foolish they are is indicated by the fact that there are services which succeed by contrary opinion. When a high percentage of advisory services are either bullish or bearish, the probabilities are in the opposite direction. Too much company should always be feared by the trader. When everyone is bullish, there are no new buyers. All right. The next one is boxed in. During World War II, I was much impressed by a statement attributed to General Marshall. I cannot afford the luxury of getting mad at anybody. In commodity trading, we must make the decision. Do we want to succeed? We can do so if we are willing to pay the price. The price very often means accepting the services of others who are not perfect. I recently witnessed a serious flaw in analytical work by an otherwise capable individual because he closed his mind to help offered by one against whom he held a prejudice. We should look for help whenever we can find it, from friend or foe. All that matters is, can it help me do a better job in trading commodities? Results are better in our trading if we learn not to expect too much from others. We can strive for perfection in ourselves. To expect it in others is madness. When disappointed in others, we can forgive and forget. It is a measure of excellence to absorb anything that is positive. Let that which is negative hit the veneer of a thick skin and disappear as if it doesn't exist. All are boxed in by what they know. Each has the power to make the box larger and larger. It is possible to learn something from everybody. All right, we'll do one more here, I think. Good information. The great the great improvement in commodities, I'm sorry, the great improvement in communications should be a boon to commodity trading. It can be a handicap. I heard a story recently that illustrates the problem. Three lines of varying length were visible to 25 men. Thus, line one, two, and three. 24 of the men were instructed to say that line one was the longest when it was the longest. When it came to the last man, uninstructed, to give his opinion, he reluctantly agreed that, well, perhaps number one was the longest. We are all familiar with what happens to information when it is passed from one person to another. It never comes out the same. Good information seldom comes by way of the ear. It is nearly always biased by positions in the market or by unwillingness to disagree with the majority. That is why rumors for a time can dominate a market. All that is needed is a good story that inflates the imagination. If the move is reasonably limitless, if the move is reasonably limitless, so much the better. Good information needs to be seen. One should question the source of any information that comes by way of the ear. All right. We'll continue on that in tomorrow night's video. For now, I've got the, sorry, one moment. A placeholder here. All right, on the daily, we still have this potential, this up, down, up, down, up, kind of fail so far, holding here on the top of this. Do have that potential for a box range. These green or these teal lines here at the let me zoom in here on those. So I have these lines here. These are the last extreme ticks. These were the ones that were hitting over here on 822. Yep, on this spike up here on 822 when we made that move from the bottom back up with strength. So these bottom ones were made there. These top ones were made with that last spike up before we failed on that day. So this is what I have for those tick extreme zones. It is interesting that we're holding above these, but holding below these other ones so far. So it'd be interesting to just kind of see how the market plays out with those the extreme tick zones. On the internals, I'm kind of jumping a little bit out of what I normally do on order, but bear with me. Okay, so on the internals, we kind of went over this a little bit last night. Also, that we are getting a little bit of divergence here in the VIX. Is that a precursor? You got the SPY here that I'd mentioned that we got a lot of room to the upside. We could still move. We did break down below the bottom channel ever so slightly. Now we've moved up, 3 up, 1 down. Could we have continuation up tomorrow? Very, very possible. Additionally, we're holding above this zone where we had, kind of met a little bit of resistance, met a little bit of resistance. Let me leave this in mode there. So met a little bit of resistance there, met a little resistance here, a little bit in this area here. Now we're kind of finding as support. We're staying above that. We're closing above that point and finding it as a little bit of support potentially here. So want to keep an eye on that. This is on the SPY. Nothing magical about this number. It was just where I saw that we had 1, 2, 3, 4 touches, where we met it as resistance. So is this going to continue to provide support for us for now? And we have that continued move up here. I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. But that's interesting on the SPY. The counter to that is this little bit of a divergence. We're seeing the VIX actually moving up in price action here, or in the VIX compared to where the price was. So you got the VIX moving up at the same time the price is moving up. A little bit of oddity there. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. All right. The gap here. Wanted to show this on the gap chart. This is the 60-minute. So you can kind of see here on that. So again, we have these prior resistance. You can kind of see it here in the intraday or the gap chart. Those resistance points, a little bit of support in here. Now we're kind of dipped below it, but we got right back above it here. Today, as price came down to that, it is interesting that we bounced right off that. So come on, why isn't this moving over? You want to move. Okay, anyway, it's not moving over. But it's interesting that we came down here right to that, right? I have 64, 92, 93 zone, 91, 92 zone. Came down in there and then we bounced off that to the upside. So we want to be cautious of that, the fact that we are finding that as a potential support zone. Yet let's look down here at the LBR 310. We got now the slow line is still positive, but you potentially have a little bit of divergence happening here, potentially from where this last one was up here. Although it's not really true divergence because we're not pressing new highs. So that disregard that now that I'm looking at that more in depth. So counter that with the potential for 3 to 4 tests up. Let's pull over the 65,000 tick chart. So like I said, there's a number of potentially bullish items here on the chart. We got here where we've come up here once, twice, 3 times, even though we're slightly making higher highs. It's just failing to really get a push off of it. And then today's price action, yet again, we're right in here. We failed to really push up higher. This was that measured move I had last night. 1, 2, 3. We ended up doing a little extra push up here for good measure. Came back down. It looks like in the Asia session, let's take a glance at that and see what the Asia session is doing right now. Yeah, so it looks like the Asia session so far attempted a push up, and so far we're back down here. So we opened here and did a little push up, and we're back down here now. So we'll keep an eye on that, see where we go tomorrow. Watch that VIX. Watch those zones on the SPY chart. And let's all, if you're going to be in the room, let's be in the room. Let's help each other out. I think we were doing good as a group, trying to help each other, trying to push each other. But at the same time, allow each other to back off, take a break, step away. But I think there's a lot of value still that could be brought into this. So I know Dee has travels this week. I don't know about the rest of you. I know some of us haven't been feeling good. Although right as I say that, I know I will be distracted. I've got guests coming in starting tomorrow afternoon, and that will be and tomorrow morning I have to run down to Coeur d'Alene. So got guests coming in tomorrow. I have to run down to Coeur d'Alene tomorrow, and they'll be in for a week, and then I have other guests in for another week. Then I have a few days, and then I travel out of town on vacation for about a week and a half there. So anyway, I know we all have busy lives, but if you have an opportunity to be in the room, let's be in the room and help each other. All right, guys, happy trading, safe trading tomorrow. Keep an eye on the rollover of contracts. We should be rolling to the December contracts sometime towards the end of this week or early next week. I know today those numbers were still pretty low. So I'll be watching it going into Thursday or Friday and see if we're going to roll over on Friday or possibly Monday for the new December contracts. All right, guys. Safe trading, happy trading. We will follow up tomorrow. Thanks.